Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Breaking Through Barriers. I'm your host, Amanda Mirus, and today I'm interviewing Burhan. Burhan is a senior year student at Dickinson College. He's a social entrepreneur and focuses on sustainability, and he has won many awards and received many scholarships for his work in sustainability. Hi, Burhan. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting you again.
Yes. I love that you were able to come on. I actually know Burhan. We've worked together. He was actually my first male model for my fashion brand. So that's so cool that now we're doing something else together.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from and a little bit more about what you do.
Right. So I'm an international student from Pakistan. I'm currently studying at Dickinson College. I focus on math and computer science, but I'm also doing a lot of stuff related to sustainability and social justice. Like I was a trip coordinator at my college and led um, social justice trips to different developing countries in West Africa and Laos, Cambodia, and Asia, etc. Recently, actually, just on my birthday, I got an award for Baird Sustainability Fellowship, which is so before I pursue my master's, like currently I'm doing my undergraduate, I was recognized by my college for my work in sustainability.
Wow.
Um, I basically helped them achieving carbon neutrality this year. So my college became carbon neutral um, in 2020. I know 2020 is a bad year, but not
I know.
for college.
There's so much. At
Yeah,
least there's some good coming from 2020.
right. So yes, that's a little my background. I love talking to people, and social justice really inspires me because it is linked to my own personal struggles. Growing up was a very tough time for me in Pakistan. I didn't had access to opportunities, so I always had to create opportunities for myself, and that really inspired me to work for people, to work for the environment, for because like climate change is disproportionately affecting
Yeah, it's
color
real.
from all over the world. And yeah, so I also love fashion on Instagram. I like to be creative because my majors are so technical, like computer science and math. So that's a distraction for me to explore my creativity, my art side more, and do something fun.
Yeah, I love your social media. I love seeing your posts. They're all so creative and you're so fashionable.
Thank you.
So you were saying that you had a lot of struggles growing up, like being from Pakistan and stuff. When did you come over to the States?
So I came here in 2017 when I was actually 17-year-old. It was my first time traveling to a different country. I had never traveled anywhere before. And it was a good transition for me. Like I didn't felt any culture shock or anything because my high school was pretty liberal and I have been open-minded my entire life. So it was very easy to adjust to a different country, speak a different language, get used to it.
Yeah.
It went well, and I'm really happy that I got to study at Dickinson, especially because Dickinson is very much recognized for its sustainable brand and how it is doing work in all over the world regarding sustainability and social justice. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm a senior now, almost done with my degree,
Oh,
and
that's so exciting.
it's been a wonderful time.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And you just turned 21, right? I saw on social
I
media.
just turned 21. Yep, this
Yeah.
month.
That video that you posted on your Instagram story was so cute with your parents singing you happy birthday. Oh, they look like so nice. I was like, this is the sweetest thing ever.
I know they do it every year. I love them. So
Yeah. So looking back and the challenges that you had faced in coming to a new country and never ever leaving your home country, was there anything that you would have done differently if you were to do it all over again?
I think I was on a right track. So that's like I am really proud of like my struggles because they gave me a lot of strength. But
Mm-hmm.
what else I could have done differently is believing more in myself. So there was a time in my life when people told me in middle school, oh, I would end up on streets. I would just because I'm very creative with my art, my feminine side, or things like that. People never respected me because that is how the patriarchal society works. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see people who are different than them or people who like try to be creative or go outside the stereotypical masculine norms. So
Mm-hmm.
I would tell to my younger self that do keep doing what you are doing, believe in yourself, and you will achieve your dreams one day.
Oh, I love that so much. And it's so true. It's like people, when I would tell people I was moving to New York, they would literally laugh in my face. And I'd be like, it got to the point where I was just like, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to go for it and do it, because people they want, like the saying, they want you to do good, but they don't want you to do better than them. And if they see you going for after your dreams and doing what you want to do and doing what's right for you and your path and your calling, it's like they're too afraid to do it. So then they try and bash you. So it's really nice that you're still going for it and pushing for it, especially at such a young age.
Right. Thank you.
So are you a reader? Do you read books?
I love reading books. I think that is one of the things that keeps me sane. And one of
Yeah.
the books that I recently, so I'm a nerd sometimes. I really like scientific novels, so like more related to history, women rights, gender rights, and because I really love social justice, so I like to read books related to that, like how, for example, one particular scientific law started, what was the reason behind that, or novels related to women's struggles and like finding suffrage during the World War II. Or, for example, the recently I read a book about how Oxford University, which is one of the oldest universities in the world, allowed women to be admitted in the university, because before 1800 women were not allowed to sit in the lectures, and they were not even allowed to like go on the labs. So that is why we see like so many men out there. But when we looked at the history, it is very oppressive. It is very,
Mhm.
it tells you that um, just because women are not out there, it's not because they were not competitive. It's because they were not given the opportunity.
Mhm.
We have seen different scientists like Charles Darwin, who made theories like women have smaller brains, or like so many other things like
That's
that, which just
ridiculous.
created oppression more in the 19th century or 20th century. But then World War came, we saw women doing more unstereotypical role, and that was when they actually found a voice. I mean, they always had a voice, they just were never heard. and
Yeah.
and that was a very monumental moment in the history, because so many movements started, like the feminist movement or different other, like they were allowed to vote in after like 1957, I guess. So that is like my passion about reading. I love reading history and
Yeah.
historical novels, biographies of different women or famous scientists who worked in the favor of social justice.
Mhm. There's so much to learn from that. And it's, if you think about it and if you read about it, it wasn't that long ago. It's within the last 100 years, women have come so far. Even less than that, the last 50 years, women have come so far. I was talking to my boyfriend's mom just at lunch right now, and she was just like, when I was young, she's like, I couldn't drive a car, I couldn't have a license. She grew up in Brazil. I couldn't drive a car, I couldn't have a license, I couldn't do anything by myself. I always had to have a man with me, and it's so different, especially like in different countries. Sometimes some countries stuff like that is still going on. I think it was 2 years ago in the Middle East, women just were able to get their license, and that was just barely 2 years ago.
Right, I totally agree. There is still so much work that needs to be done. Like, I know I'm from Pakistan, and there is so much work that needs to be done. So the Gen Z is very active in Pakistan as well. Like, they are very vocal about women rights, about LGBTQ rights, about social justice. But like the previous generations, they have just been so much silent about it. Like, I know my mother is super talented. I get my genes from her. Like, she is super smart, but she was never given the opportunity. She was married at the, I think, age of 18 or something.
Wow.
And since then, like, she, though my parents are like a very supportive and super loving couple, but at the same time, like, she was never given the opportunities because of how the society worked at that time.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So you said you study math and science.
Right.
That's passion, right? Your passion is sustainability and women's rights and everything.
Right. So my passion is applying my scientific knowledge to those issues. So like applying my technical knowledge, since I study math and computer science.
Mhm.
I like to use data. Yes, I like to see history. I like to analyze facts and present those facts to support social justice, to support, for example, if you give me a project about like how to make a college carbon neutral, I would look at the data about all the carbon dioxide emissions from every building. I will track their waste, how much waste each building is producing. I would use my math skill to do that, and then I would make like reports through that. And it's a lot of data analytics, data science involved in that. So my
Wow.
technical knowledge helps me to support social justice, and that is what I like to do.
That's awesome. And so you're bridging the gap between the two, which is
Right.
amazing. And I think more people need to do that, because then that's where real change comes in.
Yeah.
So working in like sustainability and science and math and everything, what are some must-have apps or softwares that you use that have made your life easier or made bridging the gap easier?
I think I would say, before I jump on what software you need to use, I would say creativity and passion is the best thing you can ever have. Like if you have that passion in you, that fire in you, that you want to solve a problem, then then it comes easy to learn a technical language. But I also know like learning a technical language is a privilege. Many people do not have the opportunity to study math from a very early age in their life. So when they study in college for the first time, they struggle.
Mm.
And that is why we see like many people of color who like especially black people who study technical subjects first time, they actually struggle a lot, and then we see they're given less job opportunities. Or but again, that links back to history of where they come from, and not everybody starts from the same position.
Right.
But some technical skills are good to have. Is right now Python is a great language to learn. I think Python, you can use machine learning in Python, and machine learning is a really great skill to have.
Python is web development, right?
Yep.
Or yeah.
Python is a programming language, so Python can be used in data analytics to program for softwares, etc.
Yeah, I've heard of Python. I actually built my own website myself, and I taught myself a little bit of coding, but not like a lot. The thing I love about coding though is it's people say, oh, it's a language, but it really is a language. Like you can read it.
Mhm.
It's a real language. Like it's not just random things put together and then it comes out with something. It all makes sense, and I really
Right.
like that. So what can people expect from you in the future? I know you said that you are a senior year, and so this is your last year of school. What do you have planned after school?
So I love education. I definitely want to get further education, but I also want, before I do my master's, I also want to work in the industry for 1 or 2 years, become financially stable, and then maybe do my master's. Eventually, within this, like my 10-year goal, I want to start my own nonprofit, and
Oh, I love that.
I want to launch it in Pakistan, or and then make it bigger, more internationally, to work for people, for underprivileged people all over the world.
That's
So the reason I said
amazing.
I'm a social entrepreneur is because I actually started my nonprofit before, and I finished it in my first year of college. It was my nonprofit basically used to manage workshops in different public schools in Pakistan and organize leadership talk related to climate change, women empowerment, leadership, sex education, because these are the things that are considered taboos in the society. Like nobody talks about it. Like
Mm.
menstrual health, people grew up and they still don't know what are contraceptives or when to use contraceptives. So my organization really worked on that. But then when I came to the US, it just became so hard to manage that in Pakistan that I had to just
Hold off.
take a break from it. But I definitely want to continue doing that once I'm like financially stable and have the means to make it a more bigger thing.
That's
Mhm.
amazing. Wow. Gosh, you do so much. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Um, but yeah, it's true. Because it's taboo and it's not the norm, people are afraid to talk about real issues, and they're afraid to even bring them up in their social circles because they don't know how other people will react. And so being able to open people's eyes and saying it's okay to discuss this, and this topic needs to be discussed and talked about, and I think that's really nice that you are involved in that.
Thank you. And of
Yeah.
course, I definitely want to become more creative on my art side as well. Like I love taking pictures, I love to style, and I think I also want to continue doing that because that just makes me happy. So that's like my
Yeah.
extracurricular activity.
No, you should continue doing it because it's amazing. You are always so stylish, and your posts, I just love seeing them. And then those videos that you've been creating on your Insta story, you're in the park, and I just love them. I don't know.
Thank you.
So, how we keep talking about your social media, how can people find you?
So you're welcome to connect me on LinkedIn. My full name is Muhammad Burhan, and my Instagram is burhan.rebels. So my name and then dot rebels, and I'm happy to answer any question you have on LinkedIn or on Instagram. Feel free to reach out to me.
Yay. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. If there's anything that you would want to say that we didn't discuss.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just want to say to all the viewers, like, you are awesome. Keep doing what you are doing, and yeah, you will do great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. This is Breaking Through Barriers with Burhan, and make sure you subscribe.